hi. I can't guarantee I will still have my pants on should the indictment happen anytime soon.
Hey, well, for those of you who can't see me, I'm wearing my great orange rhino hunting shirt today. Uh, and I'm armed with a bottle of French wine.
Oh, now we're talking. Now
Hey,
we're talking.
I
All
mean,
right.
you got to do indictment day right,
Yep.
baby.
Well,
You
yeah,
just
you
can't be
retweeted.
skipping
Someone said the real threat will be from the St. Patrick's Day level of celebration going down when it happens. There'll be a run on Prosecco, beer, spirits. Stock up now because there'll be a run at the liquor store like Nor'easter is about to bear down. Call your 420 guy before he's dry. Um,
That's my favorite part.
you just said Trump Indictment Day. The Resistance Logistics Officer would like a word with y'all.
That's right. Call your
So
420 guy before he runs dry.
we told you before the break that there were literally 5 Trump supporters in front of Trump Tower yesterday, outnumbered, of course, by media.
Yep.
But you just said you tweeted because you know something about this kind of thing. You wrote the book literally on it, the Trump Insurgency. But you said fact. Nothing is going to happen in New York City except a few fat, disgruntled Staten Islanders who will be forced to pay $13 for the pleasure of taking the tunnel into Midtown and then $90 to park in a show of solidarity with a criminal. All I hope is that Trump shows up in a bathrobe. Um, there is reporting, for the spectacle, Malcolm, that he wants to be handcuffed, that he wants a perp walk. I'm like, well, finally, a common national purpose. We'd all like to see that.
You can finally agree with Donald Trump about something.
Right.
But the funny thing is, the mafia chieftain who came in with a bathrobe, somebody corrected me and said he didn't start wearing a bathrobe till his trial. So,
Yeah.
but with Donald Trump, I've actually heard speculation that he wants a confrontation.
Yeah.
There are ways that the judges, and I'm sure Joe Wybanks will clear this up later. The judges can be quite lenient about the presence of a person, but he will have to surrender somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether he come into New York, I think he has to be inside the jurisdiction. But they don't necessarily have to photograph him. They
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to handcuff them. It's according to the procedure of the court and the judge's permission. Every other person that comes into that court gets handcuffed, photographed, and read their Miranda rights. And I think Trump is looking forward to that. Either that, he's going to barricade himself in Florida, dare DeSantis to allow U.S. Marshals to come and take him out. That would be more interesting.
Dog day afternoon. Well, I mean, it's not lost on you. His first rally is planned for Waco, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But,
Oh, God.
let me just
Jeez.
say, you made a good point, though, when you said that what's going to happen in New York. Like someone else mentioned this, but of course, like the intelligence expert you are, you said, here's a fact. Every vehicle that comes into New York City through a bridge or tunnel is photographed and toll sent directly to their address or their Easy Pass account. Literally, anyone who starts trouble for Trump will have a trail leading right back to their front door for the NYPD. Yeah, and then you said also every person that takes the Metro, Long Island Railroad, Grand Central Rail Line, or Amtrak will have hundreds of videos and photos taken of them before they can ever get near Trump Tower. And, you've talked about this. At the core of this is cowardice. They're cowards. Someone called in a fake bomb threat, yesterday at the court. Is that all you got? I mean, this is, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and they're going to arrest that person by the end of the week.
Yes.
And, that person's going to go to jail for real time. This is what you would do for this guy? I mean, the guy has done nothing for you. Again, I've often said this is a bizarre tribalism where Donald Trump is the tribal chieftain. And he sort of reminds me of, this is Jabba the Hutt as tribal chief, right? And people are willing to die for him. People are willing to break laws, overthrow the government. And now they're going to get their test. One of the things that I wrote in They Want to Be Americans is not that there would be a major exercise of counter-government power in a major hub of a city. There might be. Guys could fly drones dropping bombs, into a crowd or something like that. My place that I would watch carefully is the governorates, right? The southern states, the western states, to see if there are rallies or protests at a Republican governor's mansion or state house that's armed, and they feel that this is one of those places where they can start declaring their separation from the government. and
Right.
create a crisis between the federal government and the state government, like Donald Trump barricading himself into the state of Florida.
Yeah.
If U.S. Marshals go down there to execute a warrant, will Ron DeSantis allow the Florida State Police to assist them? Or if SWAT teams are required, the FBI SWAT shows up, is he going to roll out the Palm Beach SWAT team? We could have, as silly as
this is all sounding very exciting, by the way, I just have to say, but go ahead.
I know. You just want this movie made.
They're going to have to use the same helicopter they used in the movie Dumbo Drop, Operation Dumbo Drop, starring Dennis Leary. Okay.
Hello, get me Hollywood. So these but lead into a crisis that, let's be quite honest, he wants.
Yeah.
He wants the spectacle, and he's going to get a spectacle.
Wow. I love you retweeted Andy Biggs, the wackadoodle from Arizona, Representative Andy Biggs, who said if they can come for Trump, they will come for you. This type of stuff only happens in third world authoritarian nations. And you just said you break the law, they come for you. That's called the law, and it's done every day. Them's the rules, dumbass. Thank you for that last part. But this is what he's trying to sell.
This is absolute. I'm going to quote Michael Harriot, the great African-American writer. This is the whitest thing in America, is believing that laws do not apply to you. Yeah. You try to solicit men in a bathroom at an airport and the guy is a cop. You shouldn't be arrested. You try to break laws, commit crimes. They were showing this morning on MSNBC felonies related to business crimes. A couple that overcharged $250 on a fire. A woman who, had made some small mistake in her business. They filed and convicted them on felonies.
Yeah.
We're talking $130,000 to shut up a woman that he, never mind. I don't want to know the rest of that story.
Yeah.
But he paid up. Right. Felony.
We keep talking about the, threats of civil war. I know Allison Gill said they won't have their scooters charged in time. We've stolen your lines about Navy Gravy Seals, Meal Team 6, Vanilla ISIS. But somebody tweeted to you respectfully, I think being worried about mass violence after what happened on January 6th is pretty reasonable. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, the only thing I would say is based on what we think is the amount of indictments coming, it's not, there's not a, what's the word I'm looking for, centralized thing like January 6th, right. Like the certification of the votes, right? An actual target. I'm going like they're going to be pretty busy. There's going to be a lot of jurisdiction, isn't that helpful? I mean, in terms of a terrorism threat, is that there's not one centralized place or action that's happening.
Right. The diversified platforms that he's going to be indicted in. Georgia, U.S. District Courthouse in Washington, D.C., U.S. Court in New York City, federal ones, right? I mean, these things are taking place. They would have to start a Trump caravan with the flags and start driving all over the United States. Again, this is why I think it will be very decentralized, and maybe they'll start their rebellion, outside of Mar-a-Lago, and we're just going to have to see the level of their commitment. I'm going to be watching, a lot of people will watch what will this person say on television? What will Marjorie Taylor Greene say on television? Yeah. The real indicator is to go to gunbroker.com or ammoman.com and start watching the cost of AR-15 bullet rounds, which have dropped down to between 67 cents and 89 cents, whereas a couple of years ago it was $1.25. If these guys want to start playing, they're going to start buying ammunition.
Yeah. Have you heard about the Patriot Moat that someone suggested building around Mar-a-Lago? Now, I feel as a Navy guy and a terrorism expert, you are perfect to ask about. Is the moat... So far, there's no one in it, but it would be made up of patriots or water, patriots in water? Or what do you think the strategy is militarily?
The blood of patriots, right? What do these guys think? I got to tell you something. I would like them to tell me where exactly the Tree of Liberty is in which to water it with their blood. Yeah. So, is it Mar-a-Lago? I have also some bad news, crew. There is a waterfront on Mar-a-Lago protected by the U.S. Coast Guard. So there's already this little Modi thing going on there.
They think it's going to be their Normandy invasion.
My favorite part is they will not let one of these poor-ass rubes into that building.
Yeah.
Without polo shirts and dockside.
Can I just say, we shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight. All right.
I want to see him storming the beaches at Mar-a-Lago.
With the mini bar.
In time for the buffet.
The omelet bar.
The omelet bar.
Yeah. Minocqua Brewing Company is excited to partner with Equality Vines to create Choice Wine. Choice Wine comes in two choices, Rosé and Sauvignon Blanc. This wine was created to support women's reproductive rights after the Supreme Court rolled back Roe v. Wade in 2022 and caused chaos all over the country. For all you viewers on the Political Voices Network, go to choice.equalityvines.com and type in the promo code PVN to get 10% off on Choice Sauvignon Blanc and Choice Rosé.